I got to tell you, I was asked to give a commencement speech at my high school, and I was awful. It's the worst speech I've ever given. I sweated it. I stole notes from Bob Knight. I tried everything, but I wasn't natural. I tried and tried and tried. I was horrible. I actually asked a year or so ago, hey, can I give it another shot? And I think they knew I was so bad, they would never do it. But I did it. I was bad. I feel bad about it. It's one of my life's, I don't know, regrets. Harrison Butker did not do that. Harrison Butker, the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, gave a great speech. He took aim at President Biden in his commencement address at Benedictine College in Kansas City Saturday. He took aim at effeminate males. He took, some women think, aim at women, which is incredibly stupid. He pointed to Biden. Let's stay with Biden here initially. He pointed to Biden's delusional stance on abortion as a member of the Catholic faith. Here's Butker.
Bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder. Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice. He is not alone. From the man behind the COVID lockdowns to the people pushing dangerous gender ideologies onto the youth of America, they all have a glaring thing in common. They are Catholic. This is an important reminder that being Catholic alone doesn't cut it. These are the sorts of things we are told in polite society to not bring up. You know, the difficult and unpleasant things. But if we are going to be men and women for this time in history, we need to stop pretending that the Church of Nice is a winning proposition. We must always speak and act in charity, but never mistake charity for cowardice. It is safe to say that over the past few years, I've gained quite the reputation for speaking my mind. I never envisioned myself nor wanted to have this sort of a platform, but God has given it to me, so I have no other choice but to embrace it and preach more hard truths about accepting your lane and staying in it.
Yeah, see, everything offends everybody, and he's absolutely right about Biden, but you got to understand, Biden was brought up in the Baptist church, the Orthodox church. I think he even tried to drop being a little bit Serbian on us here a minute ago, but I digress. Butker also pissed off women by saying, hey, look, go get your career, but according to the women he's been around, their heart and their joy comes from being at home. And, of course, that is widely criticized. Every woman that has a career will tell you, oh, I wish I had a couple minutes, Jamie, some lady named Jamie Ertl, who's on Good Morning, I don't know, football, which has apparently been canceled or on hiatus. She wants a piece of Butker. Yeah, well, I got to tell you, not everyone's going to think like you idiots, and everyone has their own experience. I'll tell you my experience. I had a mother, career, teacher. A wife, career, coach, ex-wife, career, counselor, sister, career, 25-year prosecutor, a sister-in-law, career, a real estate agent, all with great families, and all will tell you the same thing. Yeah, man, I worked my off to make my career go. I loved my career, but my heart was at my home. Now, I don't know if I can say that as a former coach. I wrestled with that all the time. Am I just using the excuse of, well, I'm the breadwinner. If we lose, we all lose, so I got to stay in this office longer, make some more calls, be distracted when I get home, because that's exactly what I was. I was all in on coaching. I think it was probably 60-40 as I think about it. Yeah, when I was home, I never missed a game. Coached my kid in the summer. Never, ever missed a school play. Nothing. Zero, zip. But was I home? Was I present? Don't know. Women do it different, at least the women that I know, and I just gave you 4 or 5. If you don't like it, tough. But stop with the, well, I'm a career woman. He's saying we shouldn't have a career. It's not what Butker said. He said your heart, his wife's heart, although she has a career, is at home. He's a better man because of her. He also said dudes should go out and be dudes. There's a book, Wild at Heart. John Etheridge, get your kid to read it, or maybe you should read it. It gives men permission to be men, which is weird, very weird. Why do men need permission to be men? Well, look around. Men, even at young ages, even at the school right over here, are being taught about gender identity and how to be feminine. They are. My friend who lives right here took his kids out of the school that lived right here because of that bullshit. No, men, get out there, be men. The statistics dictate that you're at home. The statistics dictate that if you have a child with a woman, a dad at home significantly cuts the opportunity for that child to screw up. You know, President Obama said that during his presidency. He referenced the statistics of a fatherless home, and he was praised for it. When Tony Dungy, a conservative, did the exact same thing with the exact same statistics, guess what happened? The liberal, crazy-ass media jumped all over him. Why? Because Tony Dungy's conservative. Don't fall for it. Don't ever fall for it. Stay strong. Understand, this world needs men. Do we need rapists? No. Do we need criminals? No. That's not who men are. Those are cowards. We need men that stand up, men that protect their family, men that go to work every day, men that don't make excuses, men that, quite frankly, dress like frickin' men and act like frickin' men as an example. Now, you're going to tell me, well, my so-and-so, good for so-and-so. Yay, rah. Nothing against the LGTB, whatever the hell it is, community. Don't care who you're sleeping with. Don't care if you feel the need to be trans. I'm talking to the vast, vast majority of people. Men and young men out there that are concerned, if not afraid, to act accordingly. Look, I'm nothing. I literally, 500 coach in the MAC, had a bad to mediocre career at Indiana. But I've been attacked more than anybody in the history of this state non-politician division because of stances like this. And you know what? Screw them. I lift a cheek to them. Little cretins like our friend Creepy Greg Doyle and some other woman, mad, make stuff up. Who cares? Ultimately, it don't matter. You know what matters? How you look yourself in the mirror. Are you doing what's right for your family? Are you doing what's right for your children? Are you standing up? That's all that matters. Some little creeper, I'm glad you're here, ultimately exposes himself. Probably literally in Doyle's case, but figuratively in most cases. Don't fall for it. Butker is 100%, if not 1,000% right. Stand the hell up, men. Be present, men. Be men. Oh, my God, can you believe he said that? And the NFL has now chimed in like, I don't care about simps like Mike Freeman, the race-baiting clown from USA Today, or Dan Wolken, the liberal clown from USA Today, or any little douchebag writers. They're douchebags. They can get angry, and they can go stand in the corner. Write your little article, pump your little chest, have your little editors go, oh, my God, this is so good, and go stand in the corner, you little liberal writers. But what irks me, and yes, I said irks me, is the NFL, the head of diversity, a made-up title nonetheless, and guess what? It's an African-American male is the head of diversity. His name is Jonathan Bean. Jonathan Bean ain't happy, and when Jonathan Bean and his made-up title ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Tell you why I know it's a made-up title. Because Jonathan Bean's actual title is vice president. But of course, with all the goings-on and the way the NFL runs itself, we got to have a chief of diversity and inclusion. And it must be an African-American man. Can you imagine if they put a white dude in there? It would have to be a gay white dude, and then maybe, just maybe, somebody would pay attention. But Jonathan Bean is angry. Jonathan Bean is condemning. I'm condemning. We don't support What's going on here? Do you know there were 37 felons that over the course of the last 5 or 6 years have actually played in the NFL? Do you know Jonathan Bean hasn't said a damn thing about Rashee Rice going down the highway 118 miles an hour, crashing into people, or the current crime spree going on in the NFL with players and former players? Didn't say a damn thing when that complete clown, fat, drunk idiot, Marshawn Lynch, continues to get hired by NFL properties. Hasn't said a word, but I tell you what, Jonathan Bean draws the line. We draw the line on the NFL with a heterosexual white Christian male. You're damn right we do. How dare he say young boys should grow up to be men? How dare he say that women will actually enjoy raising a family? He didn't say that's what they should do. He said they will enjoy it. Oh, my God. Harrison Butker actually did that. But again, hey, Tyreek Hill, come on in. Let's get some podcasts promoting the spousal beating. They have not cared even a little bit about child abuse, wife abuse, partner abuse, drunk driving, guns, meth. We haven't heard a word from Jonathan Bean. Not one single word. And I can get really deep into this if you want and tell you, whoa, man, who's doing 90% of the criminal activity that Jonathan Bean is not commenting on? We could get into that, but we won't, because the focus apparently can only be on the white Christian Catholic male speaking to a Catholic university. Yeah, we must get angered. This is the quote from Jonathan Bean, NFL Senior Vice President and Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer. I can't even say that without laughing. I can't even say that because it's a made-up title. I don't know how the hell Jonathan Bean got the job as Senior Vice President. We could all guess, but I know exactly how he got Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer because of stupid stuff like this. He doesn't like white people. He doesn't like Christian white people espousing Christian values. In fact, this isn't a Christian white person value. These are values. Men be men, women be great. Basically, that's what he said. But it pissed him off because it came from a heterosexual white Christian man. Now, if an African-American dude had said that at the church down the street or at the big mega church, you would not hear from old Beanie. But old Beanie's mad. He saw an opportunity to jump in and actually do something at his job. And the safest way to go about it, the white Christian male. Beanie says Harrison Butker gave a speech in his personal capacity. His views are not those of the NFL as an organization. The NFL is steadfast in its commitment to inclusion, which only makes our league stronger. Really, why? What is inclusive? I mean, what's so inclusive about the NFL? You got white dudes, you got black dudes. I mean, you brought in some women as a show. I mean, the referee. You ever see the big woman that tries to make it down the sideline? She can't do it. You got rid of good referees, veteran referees, to bring in young women, African-American referees into refereeing, not because of them necessarily, but because of the entire program, because of the experience level, has gone to hell, and we all know it. So what has made the league better? This isn't a race or a sexist question. This is an honest question. The league is better because of gambling. The product on the field sucks. I mean, the product in-game sucks. Going to a game is awful. It is boring, it is dull, it is long, it stops too often and for too long. The one thing that has made the NFL better, to use their quote, is gambling. We can gamble on everything. We can gamble on how many rushing yards Jonathan Taylor, how many carries, how many completions by the quarterback. What's the score after the first quarter, the second quarter? We can gamble on the freaking national anthem at the Super Bowl, and don't forget the coin toss. We can gamble on all those things. That's what's made the NFL better. Not the play, not the touch football that we're seeing, not the diversity and inclusion in our referees. No, that hadn't made it better. That's made it worse on the field, and every single human being that's played football in the NFL will tell you that. They understand it. You got to make it safer because athletes are bigger, better, and stronger. But the league isn't better because of inclusion. The league's always had black guys and white guys, and the only people that fail to see that African Americans could be really good quarterbacks or could be really good head coaches was the white racist owner that, guess who Jonathan Bean works for? Them. They're the only people that didn't see it. Hell, I knew back in the 70s that Vince Evans was a better quarterback than Bob Avellini. I mean, damn. God rest his soul, Bob Avellini. The only people that didn't see it were rich white dudes that own teams. Everybody else in the world sees it. It's just like this. Everybody else in the world sees that what Harrison Butker is doing is great. It's about time men stood up for men. It's about time men stood up for kids. It's about time kids were encouraged to be themselves, not the effeminate version of themselves that so many want to push on them. It's about time it's okay for young boys to be what young boys are, which is protectors, hunters, gatherers, aggressive, not crazy, not criminals. No one's saying that, although I know that's how that turns. And Harrison Butker did that in front of an audience that wanted it. When you go speak somewhere, you got to get the temperature of the room, and the temperature of the room at his speech, Benedictine College, was Catholic. They asked Butker there for a reason. And if the NFL's little chief of diversity, Johnny Bean, gets mad, Johnny, here's what you do. You go stand over in the corner and be mad. But I would love to see how the NFL product is better because of diversity or because of any of this crap. Hell, the NFL is a shit product. Go to a game. It's awful, horrible, long, ridiculous, fights everywhere, god-awful. In fact, I gave up season tickets because going to kind of put me in a bad mood. It's like, damn. The NFL players, they're all right, but they're criminals. There's a current crime streak going on that's unprecedented. I didn't hear Johnny Bean say a word when that fat, drunken idiot, Marshawn Lynch, kept flipping cars, acting like a fool, being a drunk clown, and then getting hired by the NFL. I didn't hear that guy, Jonathan Bean, say a damn word after the first, not the first, but the second DUI of one of their employees. And you can say that broadcasters aren't employees of the NFL, but that would be naive. Everybody answers to Goodell in his office. When Richard Sherman got his second DUI, after, of course, the first one wasn't a DUI, it was a breaking and entry while hammered into one of his family members' house. You'll see Richard Sherman on the sideline. I didn't hear a word from Johnny Bean when Ray Rice was dragging his girlfriend across an elevator by her hair. I mean, I can go through the 37 felons, if you would like, that have played in the NFL. I haven't heard a word from Johnny Bean about Von Miller still playing in the league while a felon. No, he cares about that. But, hey, we get offended when a Christian, white, heterosexual male gives his views. Oh, my God. Johnny Bean has to stand up because, let me ask you, what else he got to do? I mean, he's in a position that's a fraud position. People recognize it's a fraud position. People are starting to defund the DEI position all across college campuses. So Johnny Bean, well, he's got to say something. I mean, damn, guys, I'm the NFL Senior Vice President, Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer. Johnny Bean's a coward and a fraud. Speaking of cowards and frauds, Kansas City, well, I guess it's Kansas City. There's a petition going around. This is really funny. And 30,000 people have signed it. There's a petition on change.org to have the Kansas City Chiefs release Harrison Butker from the team, and it's got 30,000 signatures. Look at this. Why no outcry for release of players like Rashee Rice? I mean, all the dude did was injure 8 people, 8 felonies, acting like an idiot. It's come out that he shot up a basketball player named Kendrick Davis at SMU, shot up Kendrick Davis's car over a girl. Where is the outcry over Joe Mixon punching out a lady? Where's the outcry over spousal abuse? Oh, it's up to 94,000. Good. I tell you what I would do if I were the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll tell you exactly what I would do. I don't give a damn. I would tear up Butker's contract and give him a new one. That's what I would do. No outcry over Rasheed Rice. No outcry over Ray Rice. No outcry over Joe Mixon. No outcry out of the 37 felonies. Hey, Von Miller's on the set of NFL property shows, and he's a damn felon. Go get him. Johnny Bean. Here's it. Butker represents a segment of the population that wants to go backwards. See, I would argue it's already backwards, and he's trying to turn it forward, particularly with women's rights. These people are getting bolder and more hateful. There was no hate in Butker's comments. There was nothing about women's rights. Their goal is to wrench power from a society that has become more pluralistic and diverse and put it back in the hands of a small group of men. And I can tell you in their universe, they aren't talking about men of color having all this power. Oh, they got it all in there. Again, none of this has to do with the loss of rights. None of this is no one is being emasculated. Well, you haven't paid attention. Men aren't losing power. Women don't need to stay in the kitchen unless they want to. That's exactly what Butker said. There are people like Butker who want to take America back in time, not the majority, but enough. See, that's crazy. What Butker's trying to do is flip America back on its right side. America's upside down right now with this stupidity. America's upside down with boys trying to be, that's Mike Freeman. Well, good for Mike Freeman. But little Mike, who is about this tall, has that little guy's thing, little everything. So, Mike, go stand in the corner. Yay, rah, you write for a newspaper. Back in time, Butker never said women's rights or gay rights or anybody else's rights were infringed upon. He's seen what society is doing to young boys, and he doesn't like it. It is always amazing to me that the supposed most tolerant are always the least tolerant. Mike Freeman tolerates nothing. Mike Freeman is probably not an idiot, but his views are always idiotic because they are always one-sided, racist, prejudice, and bias. And whenever that's you, that means you're a moron. I stand with Harrison Butker. He didn't say anything wrong. In fact, he said everything right. Young men, both African-American and white, need to start standing up, need to start being responsible. In fact, they need to be men, not these little farm animals that go around sticking their pee-pee into things, having babies, and then running away. Not these guys that are afraid to say a word because, well, the LGBTQ diversity monster's coming at me. Screw them. Nobody's against the LGBTQ crowd. No one's against any of that. None. Why can't you have both? Why can't you have those that are gay, transgender, and all the other initials? Go do your thing. And why can't he have the vast majority, 90% of us that aren't, act like we were born to be? Men were born to be caretakers. Men were born to be hunters, gatherers, protectors. Women, pretty much the same. I would never say that women should stay in the house. I'm glad I'm married to two, have a sister and a mother that didn't. They're all very proud of their careers. Great careers, every one of them. But when you ask them where their heart always was, it was at home. It just was. The proudest moment of my wife, my sister, my mother, my wife, my ex-wife, my sister, my mother, and my sister-in-law is the success of their children. And if that offends you, God bless you, because you need a lot of Jesus. And I don't ever say that. But if that offends you, and apparently it has, because that's exactly what Butker said, then you have a serious problem. In fact, Mike Freeman and others are always talking about the problem. Well, I would argue they are the problem because they see something that is innocent, strong, and right and turn it into something it completely isn't. Evil, dangerous, and disingenuous. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the true sign of a jackass. And anybody going at Butker by making things up is a jackass, in my opinion.